Let's look at the environment. This is the 5th floor of a hospital wing that has been boarded up for 2 decades. It is currently mid-renovation, stripped of its equipment, unpowered, and completely vacant. At exactly 2:43 a.m., every patient call light in this empty wing clicks on. They begin flashing in perfect synchronization down the length of the corridor. The alarms stop as abruptly as they started. 1 second later, the silence is broken by a single chime. Only room 512 is calling. This is the official 5th floor schematic used by the night supervisor. It tracks the layout from rooms 501 through 511. The hallway terminates immediately after 511. Blueprints show the space where room 512 should be is occupied by a load-bearing 6-inch thick solid concrete wall. The chime is a localized electronic signal emitting from a coordinate that, according to the building's physical architecture, does not exist. The supervisor heads upstairs with a master key. As he walks, the overhead fluorescent tubes begin to cycle rapidly, and the perspective of the hallway appears to stretch, making the walk to the end of the wing feel longer than the floor plan allows. He reaches the end of the hall. Where the concrete barrier should be, there is now a pristine white door labeled Room 512. The door is clean and free of dust. When he inserts his master key, the lock rotates and disengages. It functions as an integrated, powered component of the hospital's security system. A fully realized functional room is now occupying the same physical coordinates as the structural concrete wall. The building's original geometry has been bypassed. Inside, the room is fully stocked. There are fresh flowers, a glass of water, and a heart monitor beeping in a steady rhythm. The bed is made, but empty. The monitor's pulse begins to accelerate. A privacy curtain beside the bed shifts slightly. Behind it sits a single wheelchair, positioned to face the wall. The rubber wheels are beaded with fresh rainwater that is currently pooling on the dry linoleum floor. A sudden power failure causes the monitor to flatline for 5 seconds. When the emergency lights activate, an elderly patient is now in the bed, lying perfectly still with their eyes closed. The patient's identification wristband contains a date in the admission field that hasn't happened yet. It is printed for tomorrow. The patient opens one eye, looks directly at the supervisor, and whispers, "You're early. We have wet wheels from a past rainstorm and an emission tag from the following day. This room is a localized temporal glitch, forcing past and future events into the same physical moment." The supervisor tries to retreat, but the heavy door slams behind him and the lock resets. He is trapped inside. He calls the control room on his radio. The operator tells him his GPS tracker shows him standing in the middle of the empty, renovated hallway. According to their system, he isn't in a room at all. The lights cycle again. The patient and the equipment vanish instantly. The only thing left is a lingering warmth on the pillow where the patient was just lying. The door finally opens. A subsequent police search of the wing finds only the solid concrete wall at the end of the corridor. There is no physical evidence that a doorway ever existed there. Shortly after the incident, the supervisor resigns, and the digital logs of his radio transmission are wiped from the hospital's internal servers. The anomaly appears to be self-correcting. It actively removes its own physical footprint and erases the data records of its appearance to prevent external detection. The original building was eventually demolished. The brick, mortar, and concrete were leveled, which seemed to resolve the spatial inconsistency. A new medical tower was built on the site, featuring fiber optic telemetry networks and centralized biometric security systems. On a winter night shift, a new nurse is monitoring the ward through the hospital's encrypted data hub. At exactly 2:43 a.m., the system's routine monitoring is interrupted. The centralized telemetry interface bypasses all active wards and isolates a single location on the nurse's screen, Room 512. She follows the prompt on the screen and clicks Accept. A voice comes through her headset, transmitted through the new digital comms. "Could you close the door this time?" Demolishing the physical structure didn't stop the signal. The anomaly has simply migrated, embedding itself directly into the hospital's new server architecture.